Can you even see me? That's better. Hey y'all, welcome. I don't know how anyone else feels. I know we're coming into winter, and I've talked about how much I enjoy winter because things tend to slow down. I'm really realizing how much I'm not a fan of daylight savings time. I know it's for the farmers or whatever the heck that means, but I'm not a fan of the sun going down and it only being 3:45 local. Oh, look how beautiful my family is. Anyway, so it's not quite the end of the day. I would like to, my plan, kind of talk about some of the things I want to get done today are, if you guys watched the video recently with Hazel's calf being born, he's quite the escape artist. I ran that second strand of hot wire. Me and Olivia talked about it, and we have extra nets right now because the pigs only really need 4 nets, 2 and 2, for every time they move. So the pigs only need 4 nets. So I have a couple of spares, and it just kind of seems like something that we could just use. So we have Hazel and our calf up here in this little area with 1 net, and that works pretty well. The goal initially when I built that, which was another video by itself, but was when we go to like basically day wean or night wean, whatever Olivia decided, when we not wean him but like separate him like for half the day so we get more milk from her for us, and then put them back together, and then from there to wean. So that's what that was originally designed for. It's worked really well. I have no problem leaving them there, but I want to give Hazel just a little bit more area. While like I want this to be a pretty high intense sacrifice area, I also want to transform that area too where the fence was. So that's what I'm going to get started on. And then the other thing I'd like to get done today is I planted a bunch of garlic just pretty recently. And before we get this huge cold snap here in just a few days or a couple days from now, I want to take a lot of the spent hay that Hazel kind of wasted and go ahead and put that on the garden spot for my garlic. Still haven't got any sprouts just yet, but I'm still hopeful that I got it in time. So I'm going to get those nets, and we'll get the fence changed out. I probably won't open them up into it tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning when it warms up. Maybe we kind of make it I should probably know more or talk to my wife more about it, but part of my thinking is these nets may be a mess too. Part of my thinking is that we will let them kind of have the big area for the day, and then once they milk, or Olivia milks her, and the calf is now topping her off or finishing her off, we'll basically put them in the smaller spots so they kind of stay closer together. So we'll see, but that's kind of my first thought. I'll try and take this off one-handed like an idiot. I think minus hating daylight savings time, I think that's what I enjoy most about homesteading now and not necessarily farming like we were. I don't feel like everything is such a, it's easier to pivot. So like, I felt like if we were farming in Indiana and I had 12 or 14 cows, and I was like, well, I want to put some fences up like this. For that many animals, I'm throwing out, you know, 5 or 6 nets. I have that many, but then I don't have any to move pigs with. And then, you know, pigs were at scale, so it just kind of felt like from that to this, the availability to pivot is, I feel like, 1,000 times easier. And I can't say that enough. Like, this is the best. I mean, I know Indiana's where our family is, but like this view, that cow being a good mama right now, letting her baby nurse while she cleans it. 2 good babies inside. Everything a man could ask for. So I've kind of given how I've done this in the past, like how I always make my nets line up so well. This one I'm doing a little bit differently. So because I have 2 endpoints I know I need to end at, versus like when I move the pigs, I create one endpoint and then go to that. Does that make, that feels confusing. Basically I know I want to come here off the stanchion, and I want to go off that corner over there, and then I'm going to just make them meet somewhere out there. That's kind of the game plan. Alright, I like how that turned out. I am not putting them in here tonight. I say tonight. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We just got done milking her. I'm not going to put her out here tonight with the bull calf. You can probably tell this fence, there's a reason why it's a spare. This is an infamous fence from while my pigs got out when we were in Indiana and we chased them like 2 country miles. Literally, not figuratively, literally. So these are the nets that they got out of. For a cow and a calf, I think it's going to work out pretty well. But I want to keep advantage of what little daylight I got left and get my garlic bed covered before we get this cold snap. I'm going to put this spent hay bale, which was a full round bale, not the one I just put out. That one's still there, but just like a week before she calved, I gave her a new round bale. And this is all that's left because she made it a nest and didn't eat any of it. So she made it a nest. Did you, Hazel girl? You don't like when I talk about you, do you? Hi, buddy. I gotta say, honestly, that as much as I'm not a fan, I gotta hold you this because you're gonna fall down the hill. As much as I'm not a fan of daylight savings time and the sun being down like 5 o'clock, and I know it'll get earlier as we get in the winter, it is very satisfying because it feels like my day is over. you know, now I gotta go be dad and take care of those wild kids, which they've been sick, but they're getting better. But it feels really good to get stuff like this done. These, I've tried to, with the idea of, I know I said it building the cabin about just getting a little bit done every day. I'm trying to take that same philosophy here at the farm or the homestead side of it. You know, I think I said even when I was planting this garlic, like, just do a little bit. It's not a huge bed. It's not overwhelming. Just do a little bit. And, you know, it doesn't take long. I think an hour and a half is all I spent in real time, roughly, doing this. You know, the fence was most of it, tearing it down, getting those daggone nets taken apart. But like now I feel better about it. If worst case scenario to this, let's just say none of the garlic grows, I just added a bunch more organic matter for whatever we decide to plant here in the spring. So for what time I spent doing it, all that little stuff I feel like really adds up to the grand scheme of things, to enjoy those meals with food that we prepared. I feel like I could really get in the weeds there, but weeds, I'm sure someone will say, I'm using the hay, you're gonna grow weeds. Perfectly fine with that. Anyway, thank you guys for being here today. I say it 1,000 times, I'll say it 10,000 more. Thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will catch you on the next one.